News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
News Talk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Parents foil an attempted kidnapping. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It is Monday, June 23rd, 2014. Better. It's Monday, June 23rd, 2014. We have a partly cloudy sky, and we have 51 degrees in Missoula right now. Newscast this morning, sponsored by Temp-Rite Service. Got any plumbing or air conditioning problems? They do that as well. Call Team Blue at 728-1111. Missoula police are reporting that a man attempted to kidnap a 10-year-old girl from a local park, but was foiled by the girl's parents. Sergeant James Caton said the incident occurred about 7:45 on Saturday evening.
The Missoula Police Department responded to the area of 520 North California Street for a report of an adult male who had picked up and tried to carry off a 10-year-old female. Parents of the 10-year-old female detained the male until the police arrived.
The incident occurred at the downtown Lions Park near West Broadway and California Street. Caton said the suspect was taken into custody by police.
The 34-year-old male suspect was interviewed by the Missoula Police Department detectives and is currently being held on charges of attempted kidnapping. The investigation is still ongoing.
The suspect's been identified through the Missoula County Jail roster as Cody James Lowe. He's been charged with attempted kidnapping. His initial bail set at $75,000. Lowe will appear in Missoula Justice Court via video from the jail later on this afternoon. A 10-year-old boy was killed Saturday afternoon near Corvallis after being involved in an all-terrain vehicle accident. Ravalli County Sheriff Chris Hoffman says the report was called into the 911 center from a home in a remote location.
The 2800 block of Soft Rock Road on a report of an injured 10-year-old male. This address is located pretty far back in east of Corvallis, in the foothills of the Sapphire Mountains.
Hoffman relates what responders found when they arrived at the scene of the accident.
When emergency responders arrived, they found that a 10-year-old Corvallis youth had been involved in what appeared to be an ATV rollover accident and was dead at the scene. The accident occurred on private property, so the Ravalli County Sheriff's Office is investigating, and we are withholding the name of the victim pending notification of his next of kin.
Hoffman says no one else was injured in the incident, and due to the remote location of the accident, it took emergency responders an extended amount of time to reach the scene. The Ravalli County Commission has asked embattled interim treasurer Valerie Stamey to immediately resign or face suspension without pay. The unanimous action this past Friday by the commissioners came after a nearly 4-hour meeting. They scheduled another meeting for tomorrow to deal with the issue if she does not resign. The commission also says it plans to file a lawsuit against Stamey early next week for official misconduct and $29,000 in fines for failing to meet statutory requirements of the job. Stamey did not attend the hearing but issued a statement saying existing problems within the treasurer's office set her up to fail. Some veterans attending a listening session by Senator John Tester applauded the idea of privatizing the health care they now get from the VA. However, the Montana Democrat expressed reservations about taking such a course Friday here in Missoula. Tester says the nation must be careful not to jeopardize health care for veterans. Veterans also describe long wait times, arbitrary downgrading of disability status, and other problems they have encountered through the VA. Tester says he'll take the comments he hears from the session in Missoula and elsewhere in Montana back to the Senate. Teens in Montana and throughout the country were quizzed about their behavior recently and their lifestyle choices for the latest Youth Risk Behavior Survey from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The findings show teen smoking has dropped below the target level of 16%. However, that victory has been tempered by the number of young people who admit to texting or emailing while driving. Nationally, it's 41%, but in Montana, it's 56%. Stephanie Zaza is director of the Division of Adolescent and School Health at the CDC. She urges parents to step in and stop any behavior that takes a teen's attention away from the road.
Parents play an active role in keeping their teen drivers safe by close monitoring, frequent discussions, parent-teen driving agreements, and acting as a role model of good driving habits.
CDC Director Tom Frieden says the smoking reduction numbers are fragile, though, because of the rise in popularity of e-cigarettes, smoking pens, and electronic hookahs, along with the lack of regulations for those products.
And we're particularly concerned with e-cigarettes re-glamorizing smoking traditional cigarettes and maybe making it more complicated to enforce smoke-free laws that protect all non-smokers.
The CDC reports that car crashes are the single biggest killer of teens and young adults, causing 23% of deaths among 10 to 24-year-olds. A fire engine and a pickup truck collided on U.S. Highway 12 in southwestern Montana late last week, causing an explosion and a fire that killed 6 people, including 3 children. Jefferson County Sheriff's Deputy Bob Gleich said the collision happened about 9 p.m. last Thursday, about 10 miles east of Helena, forcing both vehicles into the ditch. Witnesses said the vehicles immediately caught fire, and Gleich said they melted together in the resulting inferno. Montana Highway Patrol Captain Gary Becker says the crash killed the driver of the fire truck and a Helena family of 5 in the pickup truck. The road remained closed Friday morning as the investigation was concluded. A Billings woman has been charged with intentionally hitting her own 12-year-old son with her car. The Billings Gazette reports 34-year-old Elvira Najar was arrested late last week and appeared in Justice Court on a charge of assault with a weapon. Her bail was set at $7,500. The court records say the boy told police he'd been in a car with one of his friends and his mother, who was upset because she thought he was spending time with his father. The boy said he got out of the car and his mother drove up onto a curb and hit him, knocking him down. The boy's friend said Najar told her son, and I quote, "I brought you into the world and I can take you out, and I don't care if I go to jail for it." The National Weather Service office in Missoula is looking at the summer of 2014 to be perhaps a bit warmer and maybe a bit wetter than last year. Meteorologist Luke Robinson had details on the first official day of summer, which was this past Saturday.
Right now we're looking at right about normal temperatures, maybe just a little bit above normal. And as for precipitation this summer and early fall, it looks like we could slightly be above normal.
As far as flooding goes for the summer, Robinson says the major rivers are still running high and fast, but it would take a major weather event to bring them over their banks.
Now, if we were to get another system to where we get another 3 to 4 inches or 5 inches of rain with a lot of the snowpack that we still have, we could have some minor issues. But it would take a lot of rain for us to have any issues out of the rivers.
So the summer of 2014 should see relatively smooth sailing for outdoor recreation. Finally, an osprey mother is free again, thanks to a University of Montana biologist who saw that she had become entangled in her nest in Missoula. UW biologist Eric Green was passing by Friday when he noticed the bird's talons were wrapped in plastic string and other material that kept her pinned to the nest. With help of a local tree service owner and others, Green got the bird out of the nest and untangled her. However, in thrashing to escape, the osprey may have knocked 2 of her chicks out of the nest and left 1 egg unattended. But Green told the Missoulian that saving an adult female is important for a healthy osprey population. Our News Talk time now, 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our temperatures topping out in the upper 70s and low 80s. We'll see increasing clouds and an isolated shower and thunderstorm possible late tonight. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECA 13, your first alert station.
Lovely morning in western Montana. Sure feels like summer. 51 degrees under a partly cloudy sky. And the weather forecast brought to you by our friends at Paradise Falls. This portion of Montana Morning brought to you by Paradise Falls, where breakfast will be served in about 50 minutes. They open the doors at 7 a.m. for a complete breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu, including light-side breakfast selections, which are delicious. Make it Paradise Falls.
Information never stops. The news you need right now. More Montana news headlines. News Talk, KGVO. Depend on it.
These headlines are brought to you by Bitterroot Motors, where for 41 years they've been doing it right, offering value, service, selection, and giving back to the community because nobody does it better. And speaking of biking, last year was the inaugural year for Cycle for Champions at the Hiawatha Trail at Dale Baldwin is looking forward to a bigger and even better turnout in just a few months. Cycle for Champions, a fundraiser for the Pine Valley chapter for Special Olympics, raises money to send Special Olympic athletes to the state games in the summer.
So what we have, it's an event that this is the second annual Cycle for Champions event that we hold at the Hiawatha Trail, and all the proceeds go to benefit the Five Valleys chapter of Montana Special Olympics. We generally raise as much as we can. We're asking $50 for participants. They're going to get their trail tickets for that, and there's some swag, water bottles, T-shirts, things of that nature.
Baldwin says the trail they're riding is primarily downhill and welcomes people of all ages to join in the fun.
We have some of the Special Olympic athletes that are participating with us as well as helping with the event. We'll start at the top of the trail by the Taft Tunnel and then cycle to the bottom, approximately 17 miles. Now, if somebody that bicycles a lot or just wants the extra challenge, they're certainly welcome to bike the other way, which is uphill. If they don't, that's perfectly fine. They'll be greeted with a barbecue at the end of the road.
The event's at August 2nd at the Hiawatha Trail at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That would be 11 our time. The Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee passed Representative Steve Daines' legislation last week to lift regulatory barriers that block new hydropower development in Montana. The Bureau of Reclamation Conduit Hydropower Development Equity and Jobs Act would remove outdated federal laws that currently prevent hydropower development in Montana and other western states on Bureau of Reclamation canals, ditches, and conduits. And in a recent issue of Congressional Quarterly, the publication alleged that Congressman Daines, according to the various votes he's cast, is the most conservative congressman in Montana history. Town Square Media correspondent Chris Griffin in Bozeman asked Daines to clarify that statement.
All I know is every time I push the button on the House floor for a vote, I'm voting on behalf of 1 million Montanans. It's not about voting for a political party or necessarily what's politically easy, but it's something to take very seriously, and it's about doing what's right and working to represent Montana interests and Montana values.
Daines is running for the U.S. Senate seat vacated by Max Baucus, now filled by Democratic appointee John Walsh. News Talk Time, 6:18.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Clear to partly cloudy skies today with our temperatures topping out in the upper 70s and low 80s. An isolated shower or thunderstorm is possible late this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.
Some scattered clouds, 51 degrees in Missoula. Very pleasant morning in western Montana. Your forecast brought to you by, I love saying that, brought to you by Montana Glass, your friends in glass over on Hawthorne next to the West Broadway Safeway store. They just put 3 windows in for me, and they did an awesome job, and really fast, too.